Well, I can tell you that. I can't tell you much about it, but I can tell you that the first episode of the show will be broadcast on Tuesday, April the 17th. So that's this Tuesday coming. And we and Julian together are really hoping this is going to be an explosive new show. I can't tell you the name of the first guest. You'll have to tune in yourselves to find that out on Tuesday. But I can tell you that they are all opinion formers, some of them dissidents, and some of them have never been interviewed before on English language television. The first guest is particularly controversial and, according to Julian in the wake of the interview, highly charismatic. So do tune in and find out what that's all about. I met with him recently. I went down to the secret location where he's been filming this show, and I talked all about the show, how he chose his guests, why he decided to do it, and of course he's spent a lot of time sitting on the other side of the interviewer's desk, and he told me a bit about his disenchantment really with the mainstream media and why he chose RT to broadcast first this show. Let's hear from him.
A lot of the things that we have been trying to report have not been carried accurately in the mainstream press. When we look at international networks, there's really only two that are worth speaking about, and that is RT and Al Jazeera.
So that's a bit about why he chose RT. He knows that he's come under quite a lot of criticism for it, but he says you only have to look at where the source of the criticism is coming from to deflect it. And he says that he has come under no editorial influence whatsoever. So do tune in on Tuesday to see how that show goes. And really that's what makes this programme so unique, the fact that it was conceived of, thought of, while Assange was virtually living under house arrest here in Britain, awaiting this verdict on his extradition. And so he said that, you know, he's always been someone who's travelled a lot, who's met with a lot of people, and he didn't have that anymore because he was having to live in this house out in the middle of nowhere. No one could come and see him. So he thought, how am I going to make people come and see me? Well, I know I'll interview them, you know, I'll make a television programme. So if he couldn't go to the world, he would find a way of making the world come to him. So that's the kind of thing that he's talking about when he says when he talks about why he conceived of this programme. Let's hear it from him about why he decided to become a TV host.
Well, there's two reasons. First of all, being under house arrest for so long, it's nice to have an occasional visitor and, you know, to learn more about the world. And given that the conversations we were having are quite interesting, why not film it and show other people what was going on? So that's one reason. The second reason is that as someone who's given a lot of interviews before, and it's been on the receiving end of very aggressive interview styles, I found that I wasn't giving much away in these interviews at all. That pretty quickly you learn to just give your sort of standard defensive responses, so people don't take what you've said out of context. And I want to have a different sort of approach with other people. And why that approach has been difficult in some ways, I think it has also succeeded in other ways, in that we've revealed sides of very interesting and important people that are not normally revealed, because they're not dealing with a standard interviewer. They're dealing with someone who's under house arrest, who has gone through political problems that they can sympathise with.
We're still awaiting the verdict on Julian Assange's extradition, but we are quite glad that he's managed to make this programme before whatever happens to him happens to him. Obviously, his main fear has always been that he will be extradited from Sweden to the US.